Hey, we here to talk about this little shit real quick. Hot off the press, I'm joking. Unless you woke up at 6 a.m. and you had time to go through the 4-hour episode. I'm a little bit late today, you know what I'm saying? I took a little nap, you know. Hey, there's a little heat wave. Like a dumbass, I ran outside trying to get a little jog in. I was completely exhausted. But anyways, we continue. The show goes on, even though it's a little bit later. What's up? What's happening? It's Big K.A. We back in this night. K.A.Vuitton good day, sleep with a cutter up a throne. You know, big homie want a ton. We here to talk about Joe Budden prize packs. The Joe Budden podcast, when they always do that bullshit. But apparently, Joe Budden, on the recent episode of the podcast, I guess the main podcast, not the Patreon one, but basically on the recent episode, he basically states that he does not care that Kendrick Lamar used bots. It's alleged that Kendrick Lamar was using view bots in the beef with Drake. I believe they're talking about Not Like Us or other songs, basically saying that they used view bots in order to up the streams and all that stuff to make it look good. Now, I will say this, regardless of the view bots, because it is Drake. Drake kind of wins when it comes to views as an artist compared to everyone. Let's keep it a buck. You can hate him all you want, but the boy does numbers. You got to give him that regardless. With all this being said, even if there was view bots, it still wouldn't change the quality of the songs, unless like some shit came out that Kendrick did not write those verses. Besides that, which probably won't happen. Besides that, yeah, the songs in general, bro, you kind of got to give it to Kendrick. And Not Like Us would have been a smash regardless, bro. That shit had too much bop in it. It had too much bop in it. Devil is a lie, he is 69. God, fuck y'all talking about? That shit hard, bro. Freaky ass nigga, he is 69. God, freaky ass nigga, he is 69. God, hey, run out your arms. Like, come on now. You can't lie, that shit don't got no bop in it. But anyways, let's talk about it. The Drake fans are up in arms and going against Mr. Budden about it. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though I don't think it would change the outcome, that is some shit we do gotta talk about now. Like, in my opinion, Kendrick, like, first of all, artists do use view bots. Artists have used view bots in the past. We're not gonna act like that's not a thing that happens, right? Honestly, and part of that shit is, hey, as much as I do love NBA Youngboy, like, after Left Atlantic, it was a little bit different, and we wasn't getting no YB better chance and all that little bullshit. I wouldn't be surprised if some of that shit was view bots. I'm just saying. Hypothetically, I'm speculating here, but I would not be surprised if some of that shit was view bots, if we really want to talk about this shit. Regardless, yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say, like, oh, Drake gets the edge now, but I'm like, hey, that nigga, why the fuck was he using view bots? If there's a couple artists I believe that don't need view bots, it is Kendrick Lamar. So I'm not gonna lie, finding out this information, I'm like, okay, why the fuck was he using view bots? Did he really have to use view bots? That's a little shady. It is a little shady. Y'all saying view wise, y'all couldn't fuck with Drake. That's basically what y'all saying. You were admitting defeat in that market or in that aspect of the beef, view wise. But the way Kendrick was dropping, he was gonna get the views regardless. It's a beef. Drake says one thing, you say the other thing on the other record. Everybody's gonna go listen to the record. So I don't even understand the point of view bots, but we're gonna read the article and see what happened. But basically, people are on Joe Budden's head, extra pause, that, yo, he did not give a fuck and all that shit. Now, Joe Budden and Drake have a history. Now, personally, Joe Budden doesn't have to give a fuck about this and just, like, scream to the rooftops like, Kendrick, you a lie. But, yeah, I mean, hey, listen, if you was over there saying some of the antics, Drake, the social media antics you're not fucking with Drake doing that shit, you gotta keep it a buck. Say, yo, Drake, Kendrick, why the fuck you using view bots, bro? I can't fuck with this shit. You gotta give it a buck. Because you sitting here getting mad at Drake's social media antics. So, hey, let's talk. Drake and, oh wow, they even talk about their beef. Drake and Joe Budden have beefed in the past and even now. They are on the best of terms, although Drake will text Joe from time to time. Yo, how you making this sound like Joe Budden is like an ex-girlfriend or hoe on his, waiting on his baking call? Like, that's crazy as hell. There is no doubt that Budden has had his fair share of criticisms for the boy. Furthermore, during the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, Joe Budden has been on the side of Kendrick. Every majority of people have, like, bro, like, no disrespect to Drake and his fans. Now, if you purely just like the Drake songs better, it is what it is. I personally like Family Matters, like, especially the part he was singing. What's it called? Kendrick just opened his mouth. Somebody give him a Grammy right now. Where's your uncle at? Cause I want to talk to the man of the house. Like that part was hard. It was hard. So I do like Family Matters. I ain't gonna lie. But that being said, he championed every single diss song that has told Drake that it was over. Nigga, the hard part 6 did not help Drake. But anyways, that said, Budden is now finding himself in a crosshairs with the OVO fandom. This is all because comments he recently made on his podcast in regards to the allegations of that Kendrick was using bots. As Joe explained, he always assumed Kendrick was using bots and even said that he firmly believes Kendrick is indeed employing them. Although Budden meant bots in the context of YouTube dislikes. Oh, so you saying he paid niggas like bots to go dislike Drake's song? Oh, okay, all right. I thought bots to boost his views. Okay, all right. Let's keep going. Drake fans felt like Budden was also confirming the allegations of Spotify stream bots. Yes, just fucking Spotify stream bots as well. But anyways, besides that, not to mention Budden made it clear that he does not care that Kendrick used bots. Consequently, this sent Drake fans into a tailspin. Joe Budden, okay, these are just retorts from fans and people on Twitter. Joe Budden just showed us what the pinnacle of being biased is. Wow, it's okay to use bots now. That's how you win a beef. What are we really talking about here? One person wrote. Joe Budden admitting Kendrick needed bots to beat Drake is peak. He did not need bots. Listen, I get it. We're not fond that Kendrick used bots. I don't know why the fuck he used bots. And if we are insinuating that he used bots to dislike some of those Drake videos, Kenny, you gotta answer for that. Kenny, Big Kenny, you gotta answer for that now. I can't be doing some of that shit. But let's not act like Kendrick needed bots to beat Drake. If we're just talking about the songs, Kendrick won. If you're being objective, Kendrick won. View-wise, the boy gonna get more views and more traction. It is what it is. I love Kenny. Where's the boy? You gotta give it to him in that aspect, like I said in the beginning. Although throughout Twitter, Drake fans are noting, where the fuck was I? Drake fans are noting that this goes to show that the beef was lost from the very beginning. I'm gonna save it to the end. They see it as hypocrisy for not just Joe, but the bordered hip-hop community at large. Needless to say, this whole beef has been taking its toll on the fans. Let us know what you think of Joe's comments. Again, for Joe to say he doesn't care is crazy, but I still think the outcome would have been the same at the end of the day. It would have been the same. I just thought Kendrick was boosting his views instead of allegedly disliking Drake's songs with the bots. But yeah, man, I'm not surprised at the end. Again, they say all is fair in love and war and rap beef, and if we really doing this shit, hey, all was fair as long as nobody got hurt. Now, if motherfuckers was trying to like do something to each other in the streets, then that's one thing, but it is what it is. And honestly, as much as we do give Drake slack, the only slack I will give him is the fact like he was going against multiple people, not only Kendrick, which I feel hurt him in the end. Like, I get it, he had a part for Kendrick in the third part of the Family Matters song and a little bit of the first half of the Family Matters record, but that middle half, bro, I feel like you should have went after Kendrick more. I get it, you have to talk to a lot of niggas. I get it, a lot of niggas will say your name. Cool. You didn't want to drop multiple tracks, I understand. But still, bro, it is what it is. And if we believe academics, apparently the boy is coming back with some shit. So I don't think so. And at this point, I gotta look at Drake like, nigga, you have to go sit down for a minute to come back, bro. Them ghostwriter allegations ain't never leaving your ass if you have to. But anyways, man. Anyways, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't say Joe is a hypocrite. I will say though that, hey, if you gonna sit here like, yo, why does Drake keep doing all these social media and doing all this, nigga, then you gotta sit there and be like, yo, Kendrick, why the fuck you using bots, bro? Come on, that was some lame shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You kind of have to. It is what it is. If he did use bots, you kind of, you know what I'm saying? I feel like at times Joe, I don't feel like he forgets that he is a big voice in this hip hop thing. I feel like if it's like something that he doesn't really give a fuck about, he just says it in passing without realizing, bro, like, bro, your voice is magnified and you do have that wide audience. So when you say some shit in passing, like you just at the boys club, motherfuckers listening to the podcast like, wait, you gonna have energy for this, but you ain't gonna have energy for that. Come on, for you moving phony. So I feel like he has to take that into more consideration, which he does, but he not saying, you know, gotta kind of have a little bit of the same energy for this shit. That's really all I'm saying. But besides that, how do y'all feel? Do y'all really give a fuck? At the end of the day, battle would have still been the same in my opinion. But yeah, last subscribe, help your boy out, help your boy grow. You know what it is, you know I'm the kid, you know I'm talking about itty bitty little fleas. And we gone. Slime Zone, peace out, gang. Alright.